know we're watching Not Everybody Needs a Podcast, you already know what this is about. Because someone recently has gotten a podcast that's very controversial. Not because of the content of the podcast, because people don't like her for some reason. And, you know, she rose to a level of fame that many people wish they had. And she did it with minimal effort. Got thrown into a position and has taken full advantage of it, which good for her. No hate for me.
Look, I'm gonna be the one to say it. Just because you have one good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking that they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and—
Which I will say, let's be 100% honest. Aren't we all a little podcasted out? Like, I feel like everyone gets a podcast, and half of the time, what do you really talk about? Like, if you ask, I have been asked to do a podcast multiple times by multiple different people, and I've always said the same thing. I have nothing to talk about. It is not interesting. If you wanted to hear me chat, you would just come here, because this is where I just be chit-chatting. But I'm not, what the fuck am I going to talk about? Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing of interest to be said. And I think some people overestimate how interesting they actually are. And we all need to realize that none of us are really that interesting. And we have nothing to talk about. And we shouldn't.
dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. Fries in the
many
bag.
people make them?
Someone's gotta
Yeah.
say it. Remember that one relative that
Wait, put the fries in the bag is crazy. I just got that. Put the fries in the bag is nuts. Hey, chill on them.
told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that. Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm gonna be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is that this world is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
What the fuck did he just say? Dude, what?
Because I love my mom. I
Yeah.
want her to come.
Pardon? What the oh, hell nah. Yo, wrap it up. Yo, cancel all podcasts. Yo, this shit need to be illegal. Who the thinks about this? Ew. What in the weird? Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what's his name? Cameron? Is this Cameron? Yo, Cameron, you cooked. I needed no other proof. Cameron, you cooked, brother. What the hell do you mean? Yo, cunning, my fault, brother. Yo, I hope you're doing well, man. I'm sorry you slid in on this beautiful day to this degeneracy. That's on me.
I don't know if this is weird to say, but I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that's weird to say? Like, oh my gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience.
Brother, that's weird. Ew.
That is weird.
I want you to have that.
Yeah,
too.
and I want you to have that as well.
So it's like,
Is that weird to
it's
say?
really, like, I genuinely want my mom to be getting down good.
They're doubling down. They're doubling.
I'm sorry.
Brother.
Never in my life
The fuck
have
I
I
walk
ever
into?
thought
Yo, that's
about
on me.
my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings.
That shit has never crossed my mind, not once, brother. Not once, brother. Not once has it ever crossed my mind. I don't look at my mom like this. What?
Talk to a girl just started a podcast called Talk to Her. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to her for running up a bag off that one phrase. You
Yeah,
know? I
see?
saw that she got 30K for popping out to a club a few
See?
weeks ago. Like, kudos to her.
Good
you know?
on her. Look, she got opportunity. She said, I'm going to run with it, which is what you should do. And she making her bag. Congrats.
Clap it up for her. But why would I
Oh,
want
throw
to
up,
hear that
brother, it's
woman
crazy.
speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life? I mean, for crying out loud, she got famous for talking about how she spits on the pee-pee. Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she really need a podcast for saying huck to and spit on that thing? You get me? The world could go without a podcast from this woman. You know what? Maybe I'm just hating. You know, maybe why don't I just check out one episode?
Can't do it as good as
Do
Haley.
it.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Hot to.
To each their own. I don't have words for that. I feel like I'm not the target audience. Is that fair enough to say? I don't think it was my type of PSL.
Podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, like, the guest can only carry her so far, you know? Like I said, there's not much interesting about this.
I just feel like people overestimate how interesting they are. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, the reason I would never start a podcast. Actually, yo, let me take it back. Cause let me tell you something. Look. Let me say I'm a bag chaser. Let me stop talking.
Aren't
Exactly.
the hardest thing to do. Podcasting is one of those things that I believe is easy to start, but hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like, it's not that hard.
But chat about what? These podcasts, they don't say anything about themselves. They just discuss topics. Yeah, what topic though? Hey guys, it's me, Soy. Let's have a podcast where I talk about random topics. Today we're gonna talk about aliens. I know nothing about it. I've done no research, but wouldn't it be cool? Like, you know what I'm saying? Most people do not have anything interesting to add to the conversation. They're just chatting. And as a yapper, I be yip yapping. But you need self-awareness. Self-awareness is important. Because I know I ain't shit. That's just what it is. Or like the economic state of the world, like that Karate Kid. See, dude, first of all, Myron, great freaking calm. That was so funny. Can we talk about the state of the world? Like, brother, chill. Relax. No, it's like, dude, what are we chatting about? I feel like yapping and talking is fun when you're just hanging out. I would never produce a full podcast to talk about nothing. Because there's really nothing to add. And then what I hate the most about podcasts is that podcasts to get clips will say controversial shit that they don't even really mean. And then they pretend that they're about that life. Like they really stand on business. And then they put you out and apologize. They're like, oh, I know. I just got to say it because I don't give a damn. I stand on business. And then 5 minutes later you see, I just want to take a few seconds to deeply apologize. That was not my intention.
And if you already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier. Because if the audience
I'll be up for 4 in the
cares
morning
to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to why so many people are starting podcasts nowadays. But like the title says, not everyone needs one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like I wouldn't even call some people's podcast a podcast. I'd rather call it mic terrorism. The other day, I saw a podcast clip of 2 dudes talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty is the craziest invention of man. I use that all
right, y'all. Since we're just saying shit now, I don't even need to work. I'm gonna let y'all watch this. We don't need none of this. If this is what entertainment is, I feel like you could watch my chair and get better entertainment. I really don't even need to be here. Y'all hold it down. I'm gonna go this way because y'all really don't fucking need. Brother Cameron, come on, man. You're doing your research. You're proving the point, but brother, at least fast forward it. Don't make us all suffer through this shit. This is crazy. Like if they were talking about them damn, I don't know, jury rigs, right? Just a podcasting, reviewing shit, or like talking about actual manual labor. You'd be like, this is for the working man and woman. That's fair enough. But you can identify who it would be useful to. Who the fuck is watching this? This has to be like something you turn on to go to sleep at night. Like you just have the audio in the background. It's hilarious. Let me make a shitty podcast reviewing podcast.
And I literally say to myself, I'm like, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
And I'm gonna do it in the most monotone way. I'm be like, hey guys, welcome back to Soy Podcast Review. Today we take a look at, I don't know the name of the podcast. 2 white guys talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty. Let's get into the review.
Like, no offense to these 2 dudes at all, because they're probably great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes. But I'm
gonna be honest, if our conversation's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, I don't know if I could do that. Like the podcast critic, for sure. And that's the thing, right? There's no ill will. Everyone calm down. Okay, no hatred towards these people. But, like, self-awareness is important.
In a podcast, but there's no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast mics, got the setup and everything just to talk about lefty loosey, righty tighty. This podcast just has no meaning at all. It's just yip and yap going back and forth about.
Look, I'm not anti-yap. It's just the yap has to not be about screwdriving. You know what I'm saying? Can't be about
Nothing.
screwdriving.
I swear these podcasts just get worse and worse, bro. Like, there's just too many podcasts now, and what more is there really to talk about? We gotta sit here and like just think for a second. What more is there really to talk about? Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. Like, let's just be real. Like, is there really a need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tua?
Bro, I don't know if you heard of the Hawktua girl.
Yeah.
Spit on that thing.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
Bro, what a conversation. Or the one-word answers.
Viral, and then all of a sudden the next day you're like a celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yo, this guy in the comment section even gets it. This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion. I totally agree. I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to these dudes, probably some great people. But I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara Desert than listen to these frat dudes talk.
Yo, that's crazy. Hot Sahara Desert is crazy. Bro, my fault. Dude, I am yapping so hard, it's crazy. That's on me, dude. I've turned 7 minutes into like, what, 20?
For 2 hours
Yo,
straight.
that's
You
on
best
me.
believe I'm serving a life
My fault.
sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom
I'm just
from the Beta
yapping
Theta Sigma
today.
frat talk on a podcast for 2 hours. Like, this podcast is just drier than a Popeye's biscuit. There is no
Damn.
energy at all to this conversation.
Yo,
And you may
he's
be thinking,
cooking
like,
them.
bro, you can't
Popeye's
judge off of
biscuit.
just one clip of the podcast, you know?
Popeye's
This is every clip.
biscuit.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like
Yeah.
Lambda, but like I think ASIG just threw a really cool party. So
I
think-
heard, dude.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kyle was just on it. He's an ASIG.
Yeah. It was a
That's
really
dope.
good party.
This podcast
Oh, fuck, bro.
There's gonna be boring parts to a podcast, and it's up to the host to make that podcast interesting when it's getting dry. But the
Yeah.
problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks
Damn,
about
raw
boring
chicken wing
topics
crazy.
and he's also boring, that just makes the podcast 10 times more boring. Another
Damn.
problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit 100,000 subscribers, you know? He was
Lit.
number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then
Yeah.
there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949.
Damn. Yo, you can tell the fact that he called him out directly is crazy. Directly is nuts. He said, there's some shitty ass podcast. He called him out directly. He said, nah, everybody else I just shoot your clip. But these f***ers, I need them to know. That's hard. He's standing on business.
podcast that decide to give their opinion on the whole situation. And no, they're
Wait, what opinion are you giving on someone getting 100,000 subs in a month? Could you imagine getting 100,000 subs in a month? What is the commentary besides, yo, that's crazy? What are you talking about?
really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space. So this was their take.
Streaming is the new wave. It's
It
'cause-
is.
Yeah.
It's just, but the thing is, it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Ween, guess how many live viewers he has? Just guess.
Depends on the time.
Just guess.
Like
you guys
5K?
guess. Well, how many live viewers do you think he got?
Like,
I
like 3K? I don't know
3K. So like he's like a number two, or I guess like, well, he has like around 15
Yo, this dude's just saying shit. I don't understand the point of this
to
clip.
20.
Oh. Oh,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying?
That's
But
pretty
the- But to
good.
think about it, like that's not that good in terms of like views.
This motherfucker. bro, my man just said 20K live views is not good. A 20K CCV? That's not many views. Brother, this isn't YouTube where you just watch it anytime you want to. 20K CCV. If I had 20K CCV, your top your top 0.01% of all streamers. What the fuck? That's not many views though. And what was the point of mentioning this? And then you know what else is funny? People are like, yo, streaming's the wave. Streaming's been the wave. You just weren't tapped into the internet, brother. It has been here. It's been growing. Crazy things been happening. Boundaries been getting pushed. Like, where have you been?
That's true,
I feel
but
like it's
live,
good for
Live
live.
viewers,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's good for live, but think about the
If you're pulling 20K CCV, do you think your YouTube's not popping? Do you think his TikTok's not popping? Do you think his Instagram's not popping? What the f are you talking about? Should we? Actually, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to check if their videos have 20 CCV. Let me stop being a hater.
In the world, it's only 15K.
15K,
So that's what I'm saying. Streaming is not.
In the world, it's only 15. Like, what the f are you talking about? And you understand, 20 CCV is not the same 20,000 people watching you. People go in and out. So that means a bunch of people have been coming in and out all day watching you, and you've been able to maintain 20 CCV. Come on, brother.
Like a mainstream.
He don't know what he's
thing.
talking about.
It's only
Yeah.
mainstream because of the clips that they put out after.
Yeah,
Which
right.
get millions and millions of views.
Right.
It's only mainstream because they put out content that gives them millions of views. How do you think they have 20K CCV, brother? Yo, my man doesn't know how this works. The people don't realize content gets views, which gets you live views. So you put out more content, which keeps promoting your stream, which gets you more views. And it's a never-ending cycle. This guy's I don't know if he even watched the stream before. He just saw on Twitter that some guy was on streaming and got 100K subs. Is that the fucking point? That's literally the fucking point. Just because people, and here's the thing, like I said, it's not the same 20K people. But certain people don't have the luxury of watching you live. Maybe you stream on their off time. So they watch your clips and they watch your YouTube videos and they watch all your other content because they don't really watch your live stream. Like there's so many things that are going on. You know what I mean? Like, what are you chatting about?
But no one's actually watching that shit live.
Yeah.
No one's watching that shit
There's
live.
a few things that piss me off about this
20K
goofy
CCV.
TikTok podcast.
Yo, shout out Cameron. Cameron said, and I just need to call this mother out. Yo, do that.
Number
Stand
one,
on
this
business,
man
brother.
is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back, you fucking idiot. So to
Thank
make
you.
it more digestible for the average viewer,
What'd I just
streamers
say?
and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views
That's
because
top
the clips get millions of
0.01%,
views. That's how
brother.
the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers. Like, why?
Bro, literally, basically word for word.
Is it surprising
Word
that
for
a live
word.
stream has less views than a TikTok video? Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has less views than a video where you can watch?
Plus, you know what I know? How about instead of looking at what he had CCV, why don't you go? You know what? Let's do an exercise real quick. Hold on, we're doing an exercise real quick. Let's look at his video views on Twitch. Hold on. We'll look at his video views on Twitch because that's what really matters here. That's what really matters here. There we go, there's Twitch. What is his name? Jason something? Well, the investigator, I'm just saying.
Much is happening.
I'm just saying.
So tomorrow, let's start with what's happening sort of right now. So tomorrow.
Jason the Ween. Let's look at his live views. Live views on his video. So this motherfucker is saying, oh, he only gets 60K views. On just clips, 74K, 50K, 53K, 18K, 44K, 207K. Videos, full broadcast. Let's watch the past broadcast here. 695K, 449K, 682K, 605, 254, 280, 687. Shut the fuck up, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
Whenever this dude
Shut
knows
that
nothing
shit
about
up.
what he's talking about.
He's just
saying a hot
chatting.
take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just
Man didn't do level 1. He goes, he only has 20K CCV. He has base. Hold on, we're doing an exercise real quick. Let's look at his video views on Twitch. Videos, full broadcast. Let's watch the past broadcast here. 695K, 449K, 682K, 605, 254, 280, 687. Shut the Bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
Whenever this dude
Shut
knows
that
nothing
shit
about
up.
what he's talking about.
He's just
saying a hot
chatting.
take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just
Man didn't do level 1. He goes, he only has 20K CCV. He has basically over 500,000 views on the entire stream. Shut up.
sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just gossip sessions.
Wait, hold on. Cameron, you're cooking, but also shut that shit up. Cause let me tell you what mama love. A little tea here and there. But see, tea is not good for podcast. Tea is good for TikTok. I like normal people tea when bitches start calling out their baby daddies on TikTok. Like, that's the shit I like. I like it, look, just a little bit. That TikTok tea is premium. You don't need a whole podcast for it. You only need like 5 minutes.
Knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little
Bro, he's calling bitches out. This is so funny. Cameron's going for the throat.
bit ago, there was a situation with Kai Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl. That was talking to an
Oh, wow. Wow, that's
underage
crazy.
girl.
I've
And
never
this
seen those
podcast
messages.
decided to put out
I heard about it. I never looked at, bruh. Chris Hansen.
their take on it
Or
because hey,
Skeeter.
it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And
Clicks
this
and
is what they had to
engagement.
say.
Kai Cenat, everybody can't go.
This is
You
the
need
fucked
to
up
start
part, though.
looking around. And I know, like, black people, everybody with you, but you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I should have known who Chris V is. I should have known who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next
Chris Next Door is an AMP member who didn't do anything. You literally just slandered an innocent man's name as being an EDP when that man is just chilling in his house.
Door is literally an AMP member. What
Yeah.
do you mean that you shouldn't know who he is?
I should know
Brother.
who Kai Cenat is because you are the driving force in it. But
And also, controversial take, it's almost like as an individual, you only know so much about the people around you. That's why this shit's always shocking. There's only so much you really know. Because I'm not with you all the time. I'm not watching everything you're doing. I'm not checking all your messages. How am I supposed to know that you're an EDP when all I ever see you interact with is adults? How am I supposed to know everything about you? Like, that's so unrealistic. I'm not saying do your due diligence, do your background check, of course. But unless he's been arrested and or charged, we're not gonna know. So what do you want me to do? I can't tell.
them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Kai Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Kai Cenat
Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group. They're just talking. You shouldn't, like, what the bro, anyways.
joined the group before he became this huge mega streaming machine. This dude
Brother.
knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a
Brother, the funny thing is, I'm not even into that shit that much. Like, I don't even really watch AMP like that. No tea, no shade. But I just don't really watch AMP like that. And even I'm aware of the fact that, like, bro,
take,
they
'cause
just
he's
chit
on a
chat.
pod-
At least if you're gonna say some shit that you know nothing about, you should preference it with, I don't really know nothing, so I'm chatting. That's what I do. Like, Kai's doing crazy shit, but everybody else is doing their damn thing in their own way, in their own right. Just because you're not the #1 streamer on Twitch does not mean you're not successful. That's the craziest thing to, like, imply here, is, like, everybody else is just, like, bumming off of this man's success. Is crazy. The person they're talking about isn't even an AMP member. They're a cameraman.
He has to go. He like, bye. We're never speaking to you.
Like,
Cut
what is he
ties.
talking
now
about?
that we are here, and it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened, what does he do moving forward? Because now it can't keep happening. You have to insulate yourself because at the end of the day, that group doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap.
That group means nothing without him. Bro, that's crazy take. That's such a crazy take.
Themselves before they were in
That's what I'm
AMP.
saying. They
That's
all
why
had their
it
own
worked
brands.
so well as a group because everyone had their own platform before
Bro,
joining.
that's a
Except for Chris.
crazy
He
take.
kind of created
Yeah, well, true. But he was an editor. Shout out Chris, bro. He did his whole stream thing where he was like going through, I don't know what the game series is called, but shout out Chris, man. He out here doing his damn thing.
his platform after, but
In
he was
the
still
Chris
pretty
hate,
known.
brother.
But this guy just know. I seen a dude the other day
Crazy.
talking about how you need to stop wearing Nike socks with shoes for no reason at all, just because he said so.
Stop wearing Nike socks with shoes, bro, or a designer shoe. Even if you wear Nike socks with some Air Force Ones, just stop doing that, bro.
He's supposed to wear Nike socks with, though. What's the point of the sock? Oh, we're just chatting.
Wear shoes, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Yo, man, he didn't even explain why not. He didn't even explain why it's crazy. Yo, man needed a clip. Fair enough. Fair enough. He
What do
needed a
your
clip.
socks have to do with anything on your
Fair
face?
enough.
I
No, he
understand
just
if
needed
somebody
a
says
clip.
stop wearing a Nike shirt with Adidas pants. Like, that does kind of make sense. But stop wearing Nike socks with shoes? Why?
Yo, man, really shout out the brand he's wearing. Crazy.
Why don't you tell us
Yo, Adidas, you gonna slide a sponsor?
why? Why? I think people got to realize
Brand
it's
deal,
fine to
brand
have
deal, brand deal. Slide a
conversations
brand
without
deal.
them being recorded. You know, we need to start stripping cameras and microphones away from society. Everyone has a voice, but not everyone's voice needs to be heard. And this
No
is a video
bullshit.
about podcasts. There's another thing I got to get on my chest, bro.
Go ahead.
Alpha Male Podcast. This
Brother. Bro, this video is gonna be so long, but man. Actually, you know what? Let's see where he goes. Let's see where he goes.
podcast format honestly just needs to retire, bro. Like, when I tell you, these podcasts are one of the worst things to ever hit the internet, because after these podcasts hit, all people would argue about is who was worse, women or men. I hate that.
Bro, the thing that I hate about these podcasts, they're the 20v1s of podcasting. It's just degeneracy. It's literally just the worst of society coming out.
This whole argument,
The
because
worst of
we
freaking
all
society.
disagree that men do bad things, and
You're-
so do women. Men
you're-
lie and women lie. Are we
you're-
done now? Like, I hate this whole
you're-
format of podcast.
Exactly. Being not shit has nothing to do with gender.
Yeah,
Ain't shit people everywhere.
not everyone should have a podcast. Don't just think because you have one good conversation with your homie that you now need this full Joe Rogan podcast setup. No, you don't need that at all. You don't even need a podcast, bro. What you need is a muzzle. But all that being said, this is gonna wrap up the video. If you
Muzzle's
guys made
crazy.
this far,
Yo, W video. I feel inspired. Yo, I think I'm gonna start a podcast.